I'm wearing this Xi Jinping shirt for a reason. I wanted to give you an update on what's going on in China in a segment we like to call What's Up, Beijing?
What's up, BEIJING?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What's Up, Beijing, a look into what's going on in the world of China. Today we have three interesting stories for you, starting with a question. Do you ever feel like this when it's time to wake up and go to work? You ever feel like this, frustrated, regretting, whatever put you in this situation where you have to sit there and grind something you don't like? Well, China has the solution for you. Ladies and gentlemen, lottery tickets. This brand new trend on Chinese social media was created as called a laborer's guide to saving yourself. And the idea is as follows. You buy one of these multiple number scratchers, put it by your desk at your work, and then when you come in for work, you scratch off one at a time. So before you start working, you scratch off one. Now, when you do that, there are only three options. Number one, you don't win anything. You sigh and continue working. Number two, you have a small win. Okay, now you can get yourself a little treat. You get some boba or something, okay? You've had a small little win. Or number three, you get a big win and you can quit your job altogether. It's like an IRL login bonus, correct? It is gamifying every day like you're playing a video game. So now people all over China are posting how they suddenly fell in love with working by scratching one number a day. You'll look forward to going to work. Yesterday was a weekend, so I'll scratch two this evening. Hashtag I love work, hashtag the daily life of labor, hashtag lottery scratchers. My coworker hasn't been late to work recently because he's secretly been using the newest clock-in trend. I recommend everyone try out scratchers. Stick one on your desk and you'll look forward to going to work every day. We gotta do this. Get this going in America. If I scratch one number a day, when I finish the whole scratcher, 20 days will have passed and then a month will have passed. Every day I start looking forward to going to work to see if I've won anything. The whole key to it is that they keep the scratcher at work and only allow themselves one per day. So it's like apparently a way to get you enough energy to go to work because you might win. My clock-in sheet, this guy scratches a whole row every day. If I actually win, I'll quit and go travel the world. This is what motivates me to work. If you're going through a row a day, I mean, it's like taxing yourself. But of course it works. Obviously gambling works and you will win. And this is inspiring. What you guys don't know is that off stream, before I go live, I scratch one every day. Before I have to stream to you folks, I'm always praying. Everyone is dreaming of lottery tickets. And again, there is some economic impetus for this. China's lottery ticket sales have soared recently amid a weaker economy and weaker job prospects. Obviously, in times of economic trouble, people are more likely to try for a huge max win. I don't think there's a huge difference between this and the rise of sports betting in America or crypto. But there was one guy who found a way to do it that was a little bit suspicious. So this man in China bought 50,000 lottery tickets with the exact same numbers. And for some reason, they hit. Every single one of those tickets was a win. The man was unidentified, so they don't have to reveal their name in China. And sneakily, there's a bit of a tax loophole. So it turns out if you get a prize that's under 10,000 yuan, your income tax is exempt. And that counts per ticket. So even though this person made 220 million yuan, they pay no tax on any of it because they split it across 15,000 tickets. Obviously, some people in China are a little skeptical about the results, whether the guy maybe had insider information or perhaps was tied to organized crime. But so far, there's been no punishments. If you want to escape the rat race, just buy 15,000 tickets of the same numbers and hit. Maybe you're just really lucky. Let's say your lottery tickets don't hit. China has another plan for you. You still want to go see family or go on vacations and things are expensive. How do you do it? Well, Chinese social media has another answer. And it actually comes from European social media and has exploded in China. In Europe, there is a very, very cheap airline company called Ryanair. It's basically a bus with wings. But if you're spending that little for a flight, you don't want to spend the extra baggage fee. So in Europe, they started this meme where they would just start wearing all of their clothes. This is me boarding my $7.99 Ryanair flight. Again, this is Ryanair responding to it. This is a magazine of a woman wearing all these pockets on her shirt, and Ryanair says, don't even think about it. It's basically 100 shirts. Well, Chinese social media honed in on this as a real money saving opportunity, and it started to blow up. Again, domestic tourism is on the rise in China, and the flights are relatively cheap. So if they can find a way around the baggage fees, it's actually awesome, especially among young people, to get around China with all of their goods. There's tutorials on social media about the right vest to buy that can hold your laptops, your books, your iPad, 8 layers of shirts. It's a 15-pocket fishing vest that you can buy for cheap that carries 3 kilograms of stuff. It's genius. So now they're buying air pillows that you can carry, like neck pillows, and stuffing them full of things. This is a woman that wore her full diving outfit because she was going to a tropical location. She wore her full diving outfit on the plane. This guy's a photographer, didn't want to check all of his cameras, just wore them. It's a pretty interesting trend that you should consider doing if you're ever trying to save some money on domestic travel. This one was great. This woman packed so much stuff in bags under her shirt and tried to make herself look pregnant. How can I make my belly look rounder? There's one more interesting story. Now, we've talked a little bit about the Chinese film industry. If you don't know, it's the biggest in the world. They have the most theaters and the most moviegoers. That's why in America, there's a huge competition to be one of the few American films that gets allowed to have a release in China because they make a ton of money. That's why sometimes you'll see movies that have like there's like a random Chinese scientist that just stands there and like looks cool. It's because it helps them get past the censorship and get into China. That's literally why it exists. Well, Taiwan also relies heavily on the Chinese box office. If you make a film in Taiwan, you need China's box office to make big money. And very recently, a Taiwanese film actually hit #1 in China's box office. It's the second highest grossing movie ever from Taiwan in China. And it was called The Pig, the Snake, and the Pigeon. You may have seen this on Netflix. It's a cool idea. It's about a guy who is Taiwan's 3rd most wanted fugitive and decides he wants to kill the top 2. And in China, it just hit. It got super popular, overnight, like blew up in Chinese theaters. People are buying the main character's watch. Again, there's like a quote from the movie where it's like, the badder the man, the pinker the watch. It's like buying Ryan Gosling's jacket in Drive. People are buying this pink watch all over China to try and be like this badass assassin. And the reason, if you look into it, is rather interesting. So in China, a lot of films are censored, generally to be positive, upbeat, feel-good type movies. For example, a lot of the recent movies in China that have been on the top of the box office have been comedies with a hint of hope. And these are 3 examples that Stefik pulled out to me. This one is called YOLO, and it's about a person who gets into boxing. It's a comedy, lighthearted. They end by getting better. It's a hope. This one's called Johnny Keep Walking, about people that got laid off from their company, but then they all come together and they work hard and then ends up working out for them. There's a movie called Pegasus 2 that's about these old guys who are thought to be kind of washed up, but they become rally car racers, and it's funny, but it's lighthearted with a hint of hope. You're seeing a pattern here. These are the kind of movies that get released, and people like them and they do well, but it's like the only thing. And so for some reason, I don't really know why, even Stefik, we didn't have a great answer for this. This movie from Taiwan got past the censors, was allowed to be released, nothing cut down. The example she used when explaining it to me was like Oppenheimer. You guys know that Florence Pugh had that sex scene in Oppenheimer that was like pretty gratuitous. That was cut out. So when they see Oppenheimer, it doesn't have the sex or the violence. This movie didn't get anything cut. So for the first time, there's like a movie that has like some eroticism, some violence, a fun, dark comedy, and it's just absolutely connecting. Like people are demanding it. Now, this story would end here and this would be totally cool. This would be a win, but it may unfortunately still be a fail. This is a breaking story that we just added, and we can't 100% confirm it, but it does seem like even though this movie is cool and did well, that is because it is entirely stolen. It turns out the Taiwanese director may have stolen it from someone else. Script is 72% plagiarized word for word. looking into it, there's like characters that are like exactly the same with one thing changed. Like this guy's last name is still Chen, but they just changed the G name to a different Chinese city. This first name is functionally identical if you look at the characters. So like this is what it looks like in the original script. They just added basically the hat to the character. It's not 100% confirmed, but the Taiwanese courts have put a block on the profits from the movie until they can figure it out. We'll see if it's an actual yoink and twist or if it's a true plagiarism or what. We don't know. Now, that being said, because the profits are being held, if you want to watch this movie, you shouldn't feel bad about it. The guy claiming plagiarism said he likes the movie, which of course, why wouldn't he? It's basically his movie. And then he wants you to watch it because all he wants is credit and to get some of the money. But that's it. That's 3 stories coming out of China. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned every week for more WAZZUP Beijing comings and goings of China and Chinese social media and business. Next week will be a little darker, a little more serious, but I wanted to give you some more fun, interesting stuff. Thanks for watching.